Welcome to our channel. In this video we will review some deforestation facts. But before we start, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. One of the most significant ways in which humanity negatively impacts the world today is deforestation. If left uncontrolled, it has the potential to harm not only the world, but also humanity. With these 50 facts about deforestation, you may learn more about this vital topic that affects us all. Deforestation is defined specifically by the FAO. It is defined by the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, as either natural or man-made conversion of forest to land for other uses. They also distinguish between deforestation and what they refer to as forest area net change. The latter, in contrast to the former, considers the total gains and losses of wooded areas during a specified time period. Net change can be positive or negative depending on whether gains outnumber losses or losses outnumber gains. However, some detractors doubt the FAO's criteria and, by implication, its deforestation findings. They specifically question the FAO's classification of sites with as little as 10% original tree cover as forests. As a result, any conclusions would be distorted if these locations included savannas. Deforestation occurred naturally long before people arose. The largest natural deforestation event in Earth's history occurred 300 million years ago. The Carboniferous rainforest collapse, which wiped away the tropical rainforests of Euramerica's supercontinent. Scientists are still puzzled as to what caused it, with suggestions ranging from sudden climate change to supervolcanic eruptions. Whatever the cause, the widespread extinction of tropical rainforests resulted in their remains creating contemporary Europe and North America's coal seams. The Carboniferous period was named after this period of Earth's history due to the high carbon content of the coal created during the time. Even in prehistoric periods, human activity contributed to deforestation. Paleontologists have revealed that hunter-gatherers purposefully burned forests during the Middle Stone Age to provide more habitat for game animals. This increased their population, giving the hunter-gatherers more prey to hunt. Agriculture's rise at the time increased the rate of man-made deforestation, particularly with the adoption of slash-and-burn farming. During the New Stone Age, the invention of improved stone tools made it easier to fell trees. With the discovery of stronger metals and the creation of better tools, this trend would continue in the later Bronze and Iron Ages. Even in pre-industrial eras, deforestation had a direct impact on human history. The Minoan culture devastated their island's forests to build their city of Knossos, according to archaeological evidence from Crete. Later, over the course of 200 years, the Greek cities of Ephesus, Miletus, and Priene had to constantly rebuild their harbors. As a result of the removal of trees inland along the meander rivers, large-scale erosion occurred. The amount of silt streaming down the river increased, which eventually rendered the city's harbors unusable. Bruges experienced something similar throughout the Middle Ages, and the city's economy suffered as a result. While the city's harbor was never fully inoperable, its lessened utility caused it to lose its place as Flanders' principal port to Antwerp. Deforestation nearly brought European civilization to its knees. This occurred during the 12th and 16th centuries as a result of Europe's large-scale population expansion at the time. Because most people built their houses out of wood at the period, the increased demand for wood as a building resource severely harmed Europe's forests. With the demand for wood to build ships as well as fuel for both households and industry, Europe's increasing economy has also contributed to deforestation. Deforestation also contributed to the extinction of wild animals, which Europeans hunted for meat at the period. By the 16th century, the loss of forests may have brought Europe to its knees due to a lack of fuel, building materials, and potentially a significant food supply. Only the substitution of coal for wood as a fuel and the importation of food from the New World rescued Europe from extinction. Early on, people realized the dangers of deforestation. Surprisingly, they only did so after experiencing the effects of allowing deforestation to get so severe in the first place. Indigenous peoples of the Amazon, the Caribbean, and Central America have restrained development of wooded territory since prehistoric times, when overuse produced shortages of wood and other forest goods. After suffering from heavy floods due by the loss of tree cover in the 17th century, people in the Americas likewise reduced forest clearance. The growth of Europe's warships in the 18th and 19th centuries also compelled European states to implement reforestation policies. Otherwise, they realized that the necessity to build new ships would destroy their forests, leaving them unable to do so in the future. Ironically, by the time reforestation initiatives began to bear fruit in the 1850s, steel had supplanted wood as a shipbuilding material. Deforestation was exacerbated by the Industrial Revolution. Early steam engines did not require coal as fuel, and major American rivers experienced significant deforestation as a result of the arrival of steamships. Ship workers cleared the riverbanks to keep their ships from catching on trees in addition to cutting down trees for fuel. Riverbank deforestation exacerbated flooding, particularly along the Mississippi River. This resulted in the abandonment of towns throughout the region, including Cahokia, Kaskaskia, and St. Philippe. At the same time, the Great Plains of North America were completely deforested to create space for large-scale agriculture. Today, there are numerous causes of deforestation. Agriculture continues to be the leading cause of deforestation, accounting for 80% of all deforestation operations worldwide. Commercial logging contributes for only 14% of deforestation, whereas chopping trees for fuel accounts for only 5%. The remaining 1% is accounted for by other factors such as government corruption, income disparity, and even urbanization. And these only account for man-made deforestation, with natural factors accounting for an estimated 23% of the total. However, human activity can have an impact on natural causes of deforestation. Because of global warming, wildfires, for example, have become more common and more powerful in recent years. Deforestation has also been exacerbated by war. When the Russians acquired the Caucasus region in the mid-19th century, they deforested it. Following World War II, the Allies purposefully devastated woods in Germany as part of a plot to permanently undermine German industry. In this way, they sought to exclude the chance of Germany beginning another war in the future. This strategy was only terminated when the Cold War began, and Germany became an ally in the fight against communism. Even still, Germany's forests have yet to recover fully from the wartime damage. The battle on Okinawa in the Pacific destroyed all of the island's rainforests during World War II. Similarly, throughout the Korean and Vietnam Wars, Americans purposefully devastated forests by spraying chemical weapons from the air. They did so to deprive Korean and Vietnamese communists safe havens from which to launch attacks on Allied forces. Deforestation has also created a chasm between industrialized and poor nations. Man-made deforestation now primarily occurs in the Third World, as seen by forests in the First World that have recovered from previous deforestation. However, when the First World tries to push anti-deforestation agendas, the Third World becomes enraged. Deforestation, particularly for agricultural purposes, remains an inescapable consequence of development in the majority of Third World countries. They see no other way for their people to survive, let alone prosper. This has led to perceptions of double standards on the part of the First World. Why should the First World blame the Third World for doing something the First World done in the past? Statistics on deforestation reflect this division as well. 9 of the world's 10 most threatened forests are in the Third World, with only 1 in the First. In particular, the California floristic province, of which barely 10% remains and, even then, is mostly threatened by natural rather than man-made dangers such as wildfires. Other critically endangered woods include the Indo-Burma forest, the whole environment of New Caledonia, and the Sunderland forests of Sumatra and southern Borneo. They also include the entire Philippine ecosystem, the Atlantic forest that stretches over the Atlantic side of South America, East African woods, and the mountain forests of southwestern China. This category also includes Madagascar's habitats and Indian Ocean islands. Deforestation, ironically, may have a negative impact on the world economy. The irony derives from the Third World's objections against preventing deforestation having economic foundations. Critics of inaction claim that any gains from prolonged deforestation will be fleeting. Long-term deforestation would hurt both the Third and First Worlds equally. Indeed, deforestation is already having a short-term detrimental impact on the Third World economy, particularly the lumber business. As forests diminish, so do timber harvests, with statistics indicating that the lumber sector loses billions of dollars each year. Global warming is exacerbated by deforestation. As forests diminish, so does the Earth's ability to filter carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Rotting plant matter also contributes extra greenhouse gases to the environment, including not only carbon dioxide but also methane. In fact, methane has up to 5 times the global warming effect of carbon dioxide. Scientists believe that deforestation accounts for up to 20% of all greenhouse gas emissions today. According to statistics, deforestation alone emits up to 1.5 billion tons of carbon dioxide every year in the tropics. Land that has lost its forest cover likewise heats up faster and hotter than forested land. This, in turn, heats the air above the land, with atmospheric convection spreading the heat even further. Deforestation also has an impact on the water cycle. We already mentioned that deforested land heats up faster and hotter, dispersing that heat into the atmosphere. This has the potential to change cloud formation, rain patterns, and even the weather, if not the climate, for a whole region. Deforestation, in particular, stops plants from transpiring water from the ground into the air. This results in drier air for an entire region, which may impact the weather or even the climate overall. As water accumulates in the atmosphere, the implications include longer and more frequent droughts, increasing desertification, and heavier storms in other locations. Deforestation has an impact on the local geography as well. Trees also help to bind the soil together, minimizing erosion and increasing the quantity of water that can be stored. Thus, deforestation contributes to erosion, increasing the risk of floods and landslides. Even if no floods occur, the soil's failure to retain water causes it to wash away, carrying the soil's nutrients with it. This, in turn, results in lower soil quality, which, unfortunately, has a detrimental impact on agriculture. Erosion may also have a negative impact on public infrastructure, such as roads and bridges. They would require more maintenance to be safe for use, raising the operating costs. Deforestation has an impact on biodiversity as well. The world's forests are home to 80% of the world's biodiversity, and their destruction has a direct impact on the former. In fact, scientists believe that deforestation causes the extinction of up to 137 species per day, or up to 50,000 species per year. Scientists have even warned that by 2200, deforestation might have wiped off up to 40% of all life in Southeast Asia alone. In some locations, such as the Amazon rainforest, scientists anticipate that up to 90% of all life will become extinct within the next 40 years. Because many of our medicines come from forest regions, this could have a direct impact on humans. It may also undermine our ability to nurture genetic diversity into crops, making us more susceptible to crop failure. Deforestation has an impact on human health as well. We've already discussed how forest habitat loss could impact the pharmaceutical industry. However, deforestation has the potential to cause disease epidemics, both known and unknown. Scientists, for example, have connected the rise in schistosomiasis incidence in Africa to deforestation. Deforestation, in particular, resulted in the elimination of predators and reduced competition for snails that carried the parasite. Their potential to infect humans with the parasite increased as their population grew. Deforestation has also increased cases of Chagas disease, Ebola, Lyme disease, and sleeping sickness. Deforestation has also reduced capybara predators in South America, allowing them to spread into populated areas. While capybaras do not currently have diseases that can be transmitted to humans, they do carry diseases that can be transmitted to other species. Scientists are concerned that it will only be a matter of time before a mutation allows them to infect humans as well. Deforestation was directly responsible for the 1998 Nipah virus outbreak in Malaysia. Fruit bats in Malaysia have experienced demographic and ecological alterations as a result of the clearance of forests for pig farms. As a result, fruit bats carrying the Nipah virus came into touch with the pigs in the farms. The virus subsequently infected the pigs, who ultimately infected the humans who cared for them. The virus produced an encephalitis outbreak, with 265 cases reported before the government was able to quell the situation. A total of 105 persons died as a result of the sickness. Today, scientists cite the outbreak as an objective illustration of how deforestation can harm human health. Scientists believe that deforestation may have aided in the spread of HIV to people. They admit, however, that it is only one factor in how HIV first spread to humans. Overpopulation, in particular, drove people to clear off portions of forest for living space. Overpopulation boosted food demand, with bushmeat serving as a key source of protein for people living in Africa's rural areas. Both causes then led humans to contact chimpanzees which carried the simian immunodeficiency virus, SIV. This virus transformed into the human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, and was spread by encounters between humans and chimps. According to estimates, HIV/AIDS has killed an estimated 25 million individuals worldwide as of 2020. They also believe that deforestation contributes to growing malaria infection rates. Malaria has become the major cause of mortality in Kenya, owing to deforestation. water accumulated on the ground more frequently and at greater temperatures than usual due to a lack of trees. Both of these characteristics make them ideal breeding sites for mosquitoes, which pick up the malaria parasite by sipping contaminated blood. They then spread the infection when they bite other persons or animals kept by humans. When these animals contact with their owners and other people, they spread the parasite. In Brazil, malaria occurrences climbed by 50% in deforested areas, creating a similar situation. After people began constructing forested regions, deforestation in Peru significantly affected malaria infection rates, increasing from 600 cases per year to 120,000 cases per year. Deforestation may also have played a role in the COVID-19 pandemic. The exact details are unknown because the investigation into the origins of the COVID-19 virus is still ongoing. However, experts say the virus most likely started from bats, which transmitted to people in one of two ways. The degradation of their natural forest habitats first brought them into contact with humans. And second, the unregulated wildlife trade, either as exotic pets or for meat, also forced them into contact with humans. In any case, the COVID-19 virus infected people, spreading over the world and igniting the epidemic we are currently facing. This prompted scientists to warn the globe once more, not just about deforestation, but about environmental overexploitation in general. Even if we successfully stop the present epidemic, we may be faced with a new one if the underlying cause of the prior one is not addressed. Controlling deforestation is linked to emission reductions. We already discussed how deforestation contributes significantly to greenhouse gas emissions. This resulted in the establishment of REDD+, an international program aimed at decreasing deforestation and its associated greenhouse gas emissions. Participants in the initiative received a total of $30 billion beginning in 2010 to initiate forest recovery programs, expand forest monitoring capacities, and establish regulatory institutions. Today, 46 nations engage in REDD+, and the world's largest palm oil producer, Wilmar, joined the program in 2018. Countries must pay to halt deforestation. Brazil pioneered this initiative, compensating landowners in forested regions $20 per day not to develop their land. They will also receive an additional $30 if they want to participate in bee farming for 5 years. The initiative is managed by Fundación Natura Bolivia, with assistance from the Climate and Development Knowledge Network. Indigenous rights are also linked to forest conservation. While indigenous peoples do exploit forests, they usually do so within the confines of their community's necessities. As a result, forested regions managed by indigenous peoples have greater conservation rates. Indeed, studies show that indigenous woods are healthier than those in national parks. One of China's most significant land reform programs, in particular, was the return of enormous sections of natural forest to indigenous peoples. Brazil and India have both developed programs aimed at decreasing deforestation and strengthening indigenous rights. Modern farming methods may aid in the reduction of deforestation. Aeroponics, greenhouse farming, hydroponics, and vertical farming are examples of these methods. They all have the advantage of not requiring large expanses of clean ground to grow crops, which eliminates the need to tear down forests to create space for farms. Scientific farming methods, as well as synthetic sunshine, have the potential to enable contemporary farming to simply outperform traditional farming. This would also eliminate the need for additional forest clearing for farming. Another advantage of modern farming is that it eliminates the need to emit synthetic fertilizers as well as chemicals such as pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides into the environment. Thus, modern farming might not only provide food security for humanity, but also successfully eliminate deforestation and significantly reduce pollution. Deforestation can be tracked in a variety of ways by scientists and governments. The most popular way is to photograph forested regions from the air or by satellite. Images from different eras are then compared to determine how far deforestation has progressed. Other ways involve not only quantifying the extent of a forest's damage, but also the impact on the surrounding environment. This involves evaluating soil quality, the consequences on local biodiversity, and even documenting the development that has occurred on cleared land. Long before the Industrial Revolution, people managed forests. To combat deforestation, 16th century Germany created silviculture, which comprised meticulous but speedy cultivation of woods for economic interests. This strategy, however, has significant drawbacks, such as reliance on regular rainfall and particularly fertile soils. However, most land is insufficiently fertile for silviculture, and the weather is unpredictable. During the Tokugawa era, Japan used timber substitution to reduce deforestation and promote environmental recovery. Sustainable practices are supported by countries all around the world to help decrease deforestation. A surprise example is a modest shift from the traditional slash-and-burn method to the slash-and-char method. It asks for charring, if not outright burning, any chopped plant matter, as the name implies. This minimizes the amount of smoke created, scorches the ground less, and introduces less hazardous byproducts into the earth. This strategy offers all of the advantages of slash and burn, but with less environmental impact. Another example of environmentally friendly behavior is the push to replace traditional lumber with bamboo. Bamboo has all of the features of traditional lumber while also growing far faster than other trees. Bamboo also burns considerably cleaner than other wood, producing far less smoke and ash. East Asia is at the forefront of reforestation and afforestation. Reforestation entails allowing forests to regenerate, whereas afforestation is introducing and allowing trees to grow in places where they did not previously exist. Afforestation is extremely popular in Japan, and during the 1970s, Chinese reforestation efforts have resulted in the recovery of 470,000 kilometers of wooded land. Indeed, current reforestation and afforestation trends for Asia as a whole estimate the recovery of 10% of wooded area by 2050. Scientists, on the other hand, believe that protection is preferable to reforestation. Simply said, even if forests regenerate and regain areas lost to development, whatever biodiversity that was lost in the first place is irrevocably lost. Damaged soil may also never heal, depending on the degree and nature of harm involved. Given the long and sluggish development rates of trees, recovery also takes a very long time. Deforestation-related greenhouse gas emissions also take the longest to remove from the environment. Even if we cut all man-made greenhouse gas emissions to zero today, scientists believe that it will take at least 300 years for the atmosphere to recover to pre-industrial levels. And these are the most optimistic projections, with the average indicating it will take up to 1,000 years for the atmosphere to fully recover. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel, since we will be covering a lot of similar content in the future. Till next time, stay curious.